Hello guys, welcome back to channel. Today I would be talking about a mystery, horror movie, a movie which I call the best horror movie that ever existed. The movie is titled The Wailing. Spoiler alert, trust me, you would enjoy it. We were introduced to a policeman in the first scene. He was called due to a murder in the village. They went to the murder location. Arriving there, he saw the murderer sitting there and the corpse had been tied up. He was informed that the murder didn't take place there as the dead body was taken there after the victim had died, so they visited the suspect's apartment. They saw his apartment looking like a shrine. In the next scene, a hunter who visited the mountain to hunt and fell in the process of carrying his hunted animal collapsed. When he woke up, he saw a white strange man in the forest eating up his raw hunted animal. One rainy night, at the police station, Jong-gu and songbook were discussing the Japanese stranger and the strange things that had been happening in their village. Suddenly, they saw a naked woman standing by the window. Due to his recent experience, Jong-gu had several nightmares. Jong-gu was informed of another crime, so he left for the location. When he got to the location, a man and a woman were showing weird symptom and trying to bite humans. They attacked Jong-gu also. After the ambulance picked the sick ones away, Jong-gu and his other colleagues went back to the police station. At the station, Jong-gu was thinking with the earlier incident. His daughter Hyojin visited and brought new wear for him since his old wear had been messed up. After a short conversation, Hyojin bids him goodbye and left. After Hyojin left, Jong-gu suddenly remembered that the woman seen naked at the police station the other day was one of the victims, who was raped by the stranger, and whose house got burnt recently. All her siblings were also stabbed and the killer hung himself. The woman went crazy after the incident and she also had the boils and rashes of the other victims. Jong-gu and his colleagues visited the victim's house in search of evidence. At the crime scene, Jong-gu saw a mysterious woman dressed in witch. She is called Moom-young, which means unknown person. She told him the Japanese man is a ghost, and he looks forward to sucking anyone's blood, and he is the culprit. He caused all the incidents happening in the village. The woman warned him that since he had seen the Japanese man, the man would soon come for his family. Jong-gu got a call from songbook. He stepped outside to pick up the call. By the time he came back to the woman had disappeared. He entered to find the woman. He saw a scary image. He saw the stranger eating a dead animal. He screamed and woke up. Waking up, he was told his daughter was ill. He went to check up on her. When he got to work that day, his boss scolded him for losing a primary witness. He and songbook decided to investigate the case squarely. They met with the man who first met the stranger at the mountain. The three of them went to look for the stranger. In the process of looking for the Japanese, the hunter was struck by lightning and he was rushed to the hospital by the other two. At the hospital, Jong-gu saw the first suspect. The suspect exhibited uncommon signs and symptoms, and he died in the process. Arriving home that evening, he saw his daughter exhibiting such signs too. He was able to calm his daughter down so she didn't die. However, the next morning, his daughter is seen eating an uncontrollable amount of fish, something she had never done before. This got his mum concerned and recommended hyojin is taken for some rituals. Jong-gu does not believe in things like this, so he ignores her and went to the police station. Trying to solve this dilemma, he and songbook asked for the help of songbok's nephew Yang E-sam, who understood Japanese. So the three of them went ahead to the Japanese man's apartment. His home had several pictures of murdered villagers and also some of the belongings. They also saw a worship house. The stranger's dog vehemently attacked them, but the dog stopped when the stranger arrived. When they were about leaving the apartment, songbook saw a shoe that supposedly belongs to Hyojin, Jong-gu's daughter. When Jong-gu got home, he asked his daughter about the man, and upon hearing the man's name, his daughter became erratic, screamed at him. That night, he checked his daughter's body and saw the spots on the other victim's body on her. In anger, Jong-gu went back to the stranger's house, but he couldn't find all the evidence early seen. The Japanese had burnt them. In anger, Jong-gu destroyed the Japanese worship house and also killed his dog. He asked the Japanese to leave their village. Hyojin's condition had worsened. She was also caught stabbing one of their neighbors. Jong-gu realized he had no choice but to call a shaman. They invited a shaman and Il-gwang the shaman visited to see Hyojin. Il-gwang told them she had been possessed by a demon, which is a strange man, and there are only two options, either to perform rituals or to kill the Japanese man, and Jong-gu accepted the former. Il-gwang started his rituals. About the same time, the strange man was also seen performing rituals in his home. The ongoing rituals by Il-gwang affected Hyojin, who screamed for her father to stop the rituals. The rituals also affected the Japanese. Seeing his daughter in pain, Jong-gu stopped the rituals and took his daughter to the hospital. The stranger, on the other hand, pulls himself to his bed after his rituals. Suddenly he saw the mysterious woman on white. Since the first option couldn't work, Jong-gu decided to go kill the Japanese man, so he packed his gang for an attack. While they were searching his apartment, one of the reanimated corpse attacked them. The corpse bite Il-gwang, giving the stranger time to run. All the gangs divided their search and went all out on the mountain looking for the stranger. They lost the stranger. As the stranger hid out of view, he saw Moon-myung again. Moon-myung killed him. While the gang drove out of the mountain, Moon-myung threw the stranger's body down to their vehicle's windscreen. They stopped the vehicle and dumped the stranger's body into water. Getting back to the hospital, Jong-gu was happy to see his daughter had and healthy. She had recovered from the illness. Another crime occurred. This time, a policeman killed all his family and sat down in silence. Just like the suspect of the first crime, he also exhibited signs of being possessed. Il-gwang drove to Jong-gu's place where he saw Moon-myung. Immediately saw her, he started vomiting blood and water. He ran back to his shrine to lit candles. It didn't work as the candle died immediately. He was very terrified. He left the town immediately, and drove to Seoul. On his way, a lot of flies bashed his windscreen so much that he couldn't continue the journey. He, therefore, went back to the town. On his way, he called Jong-gu and told him the real demon is not the Japanese man. The real demon was Moon-myung, and she had been the one tormenting the town. About that time, Jong-gu went to his daughter's room to find her. He couldn't find her. While looking for her all around, he saw Moon-myung. He asked Moon-myung where his daughter is, and she told him his daughter is inside the house. She told him the Japanese man is still alive, and he is the real demon, but she has set a trap from him, that as long as Jong-gu doesn't visit his home to see his daughter before the cock cries 3 times, Japanese man would be destroyed. But if he visits before then, his daughter will kill his whole family. Meanwhile, Yang just received news that Song-bok had murdered his whole family, so he took the cross and went to the mountain to find the Japanese man. When he saw him, he asked him who he was and told him he would kill him if he does not answer. In the house, Hyojin is seen eating fish terribly and was looking at her mother with strange eyes. With Jong-gu, he wanted to believe Moon-myung, but recovered a call from Il-gwang, telling him Moon-myung is a liar and she is the real demon. Also, Jong-gu saw the belongings of the victim on Moon-myung, as he also found his daughter's hairpin on her. Believing that to be true, he ran into the house before the cock cried the second time. At the mountain, the Japanese man turned into demon right in the presence of Yang. He took out his camera and took a picture of Yang like he does for other victims. By the time Jong got home, his daughter had murdered his whole family and she was seen sitting down in the corner just like the other victim. Jong-gu called out his daughter's name but she didn't reply. Il-gwang arrived and took the photos of Jong-gu's dead family. While he retired to his vehicle, the photos of all the victims dropped from his box. They were the exact photos found earlier at the Japanese house. It is implied that Il-gwang had been working with the Japanese all the while. While Jong-gu lay on the ground, he remembered all the happy memories he had of his family. Concluding the movie, the Japanese man is seen sitting by the roadside. Il-gwang's car stopped by and picked him up while Moon-myung watched them as the car vanished. Thank you for staying with me. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel so you can get notified when we post the next recap. See you next time.